Hello, everyone. Today, our lecture is going to be on headings on reading of ielts. So we would be managing a very easy passage that is called as Yoruba Town, and we'll be working on the headings for this. What basically is a heading? Heading is actually the essence of the entire para, which means it's a summary of an entire para. Let's see the steps in which the headings can be done. Step 1, read the list of the headings. Step 2, keep a watch on similar headings, because generally the examiner is going to confuse you with the similar kinds of headings. Step 3, check for examples. Examples would not be repeated. Step 4, read the first para. Step 5, think of a sentence which will summarize the whole para. That will be the main point of the para, and therefore that will be the heading. And the last step is to match. In case of an emergency, suppose you are unable to figure out what the heading is going to be and you feel two or more headings are matching one para. In that case, write them on the side, examine each individually. If you're able to finalize, well and good. If you're not able to finalize, move ahead. We can obviously come back to them later on. Now, understanding the structure of a paragraph. Now we need to understand that structure of a paragraph is very important. Why? Because coherence and cohesion are defined by it. Your understanding will not be developed if you do not understand the structure of the paragraph. The second reason is the main point and the supporting points are defined by it. So basically, we have got three structures. In the first structure, which is generally 50% of the times, the main point is in the top line. And all the lines which are below the top line are supporting the top line. In case of type 2, that is 25%, all the supports will point to the last line, and the last line is obviously the end of the paragraph. In that case, the end of the paragraph is the heading. In type 3, which is again 25%, all the headings will point to a central point which is located in the center of the paragraph. Now let's try one easy passage of Yoruba Town. You will see that on one side there are 10 headings. Now I'm going to mark them for you so we all understand like what heading are we talking about. The first heading talks about the town facilities, which means whatever the facilities of the town are, they will be shown in the first heading. Colonization, the development of that particular colony, or what the topic is about, that is Yoruba Town. Urban divisions, how the town is divided. Architectural home styles means the design of an individual house. Types of settlement would mean the kind of cluster of people who are settled together. Historical foundations is again going back to history. Domestic arrangements would mean the structure of the house and in which the people are living and their arrangements, like what person stays where. City defenses would obviously mean the kind of structure that is around the city to defend it from the enemies. Residences of the rulers might mean it's a ruler, so it will be meaning a palace. Government buildings would again be the kind of administration and the buildings that are there in the town. So let me rub this whole thing for you. And we are going to start with a class. So this is my first para. So I'll give you some time to read the first para. You can also pause the recording here and read. Now, we see that the mother sentence or the main sentence is the first sentence, where they're talking the Yoruba people of Nigeria classify the towns in two ways, that is Ilu and Aba. So according to this, the type of heading which is going to suit here is going to be something about the classification of the city. So let's see what is going to come out to be. So you can keep a paper and a pencil as the video continues and keep on marking it along. In case of B, we will read this once again, but emphasize should be there on the first sentence. Okay, what we see here is the history, is the 19th town history. Everything in the paragraph is was, they were this, they were, there was this. That means it's talking about the past. Figure out which heading would be suitable. In the C paragraph, the first sentence talks about the palaces were often very large. He's talking about palaces. And if you see rest of the paragraph, that is all supporting the palaces. But here there's a word to confuse you, after colonization. But in the headings, the word is colonization and not after colonization. So this paragraph actually doesn't talk about colonization, it talks about after colonization. So figure out the palaces were often very large. So which is the heading that would suit this? In case of D, read the first sentence. The town is divided into different sections. Here we're talking about the different sections of the town, which are regular, extending from the center, then they're placed equally. So you need to figure out this whole paragraph and see what does it mean. The first sentence is again the mother sentence, and we have to fix up a heading as per that. Let's go to E para. In case of E para, I'll give you some time to read the whole para. You can stop the recording here. And I have the first sentence here. Houses are rectangular. Basically, he's talking about the house construction here. What kind of layout the house has. So the whole thing is based on the layout of the house. So find out what is the heading that is most suitable. F paragraph. The first sentence of this paragraph talks about the builder or the most senior man gets a room either near the entrance or in a two-storied house near the balcony. And then he talks about teenage boys, girls, mother. So he talks about how the house people stay inside. The main line is again the first one. Let's come to G. Amenities vary. In some towns, most of the population uses communal water taps. Then he goes on to talk about toilets. Then he talks about electricity, water, and he says there were the political issues there. These facilities were the political issues. So I'll give you some time to think on it and then mark your essay. You can stop the recording here. Thank you. So these are the answers to passage 1. In case you wish to do it again, my blog has the same kind of paragraphs and the answers are in this video.